Hello everyone, it's Laura Hanley again inside my Muddy Paws Pottery Shop. Hello, I'll say hello once, hopefully you can see me. Anyways, what I'm going to show you how to make is your own handmade stamp. What is so wonderful about a handmade stamp is that it is your design. You own it. It is your personal reference. That means everything you make with it, with clay, you can put your name on it. This mug was made with a handmade stamp that I designed, and I'm going to show you how to make this stamp in this video. And then I will have another video that shows you how to make a hand-built mug just like this. I'll set this aside for now. So whenever we work with clay, we always end up with a bunch of remnants. We can either put those back into our bag of fresh clay, or we can smoosh them together and make other things with it. And right now I'll show you how to make a handmade stamp. Okay, just so you know, the end result of what I'm going to show you how to make is this bisque fired leaf stamp. You do not need to make a leaf. You can make anything you want. You can make a smiley face. You can make a sun. You can make a flower. You can make your initials. If you make your initials or anything with a word, make sure you are etching it in backwards as if you were looking into a mirror, because remember, the design is always opposite once you stamp it. I'll show you how that one looks. Just a little harder. See that? Okay, so what we need to do first is take our wad of clay and just pound it. Pound it so that there is a flat surface. It's very important that the surface we carve our stamp into is flat. So I'm just going to edge this around. The tail end of this will be where I hold my stamp. It can be large, it can be small. If you want it to be a signature stamp, make sure it's tiny. Now I'm making this, you can probably see, I'm making this into a square. But you can always roll it into a circle. Just roll it. Keep rolling it into a circle. But I'm going to go back to my square. All right. So keep rolling, pounding, making sure it's flat. So I have this nice flat surface. It's not quite squared enough, so I'm going to square it a little more. Okay. Now, this clay is still very wet, and it's a little hard to carve into clay without getting a lot of bits stuck if your clay is very wet. So what I'm going to do is set this aside for like 2 or 3 hours, maybe overnight. I just don't want it to dry out completely, okay? So I did this yesterday, and I have this one ready to go. So you can use your needle tool and this wooden sculpting tool if you have one in your kit. If you don't have one of these, no worries, just take a pencil. And we don't need the lead of a pencil. What we really just need is this dull tip of a pencil. So I will assume people don't have this tool, and I'll start with this, okay? So I'm just gonna draw my pattern, okay? I'm just gonna start etching in. Like that. The little bits that you get, you just brush those aside, pick them out. You want to make sure that your stamp, that the grooves, like I'm showing you, are deep enough so that you make a deep enough pattern when you actually use your stamp. If it's just a little bit of chicken scratch like this, it won't show up when you press it into the clay. Okay? So make some veins here. I'm just making another leaf stamp just because that will be the one that I end up using on my hand-built mug that I'm going to show you next, in my next video. It's a pretty day today. I can't wait till all the leaves start coming out and they're all green. Everything's nice and green and pretty. So anyways, you can mess with this as much as you want. The 2 things I want you to remember are to make sure your surface is flat. So when you initially pound this stamp, the surface should be nice and flat. That way you'll get a good push into your clay slab when you're using this. Also, to dig the grooves deep enough. Okay. So this piece will need to dry completely and be fired, bisque fired, before it can be used, okay? So this can be dried out. It'll need to be fired. When you get it back from the firing, I know this sounds like a long process, but it seems like we all have a lot of time on our hands to be creative these days. It will be white. It'll be like this, okay? And we can use this as many times as we want. This is our personal stamp that we made. You can make as many of these as you want to. I am going to say goodbye right now. I'll show you again what it looks like. How cool is that? And my next video, I will show you how to make a hand-built mug, this mug, using my leaf stamp. But remember, your stamps, your handmade stamps, can be used for anything. pendant necklaces, signatures, and anything you want to push this design into when you're using your clay. Okay, over and out.